Stop talking to prove yourself. Stop explaining to be heard. Every word you speak without strategy is a missed opportunity. The most powerful people in history mastered silence. Today, you will learn how to speak less and influence more. This is not about being quiet. This is about commanding respect, commanding attention, and mastering the invisible force that others overlook, the power of silence. Listen carefully. Apply relentlessly. Everything changes when you speak less and have more influence. Chapter 1. Silence is your secret weapon. Listen carefully. Everything you say matters. Every word you speak either builds authority or diminishes it. Most people don't realize this. They speak to fill the space. They talk to be noticed. They talk to feel important. And in the process, they weaken their influence. Here's the truth. Silence signals confidence. It shows control. It shows composure. It shows power. When you stop talking unnecessarily, people start leaning in. They start paying attention. They start valuing what you say. You don't need to dominate every conversation. You don't need to prove yourself in every exchange. Silence does that for you. Think about leaders you respect, the ones who command attention without shouting, the ones who make an impact with just a few carefully chosen words. They don't fill every gap. They don't respond to every comment. They let their presence speak first, and then, when they speak, everyone listens. That's the power of silence. That's the secret weapon most people overlook. Let's break it down. Stop filling space. Start commanding it. Silence is power. It's that simple, but not easy. It requires discipline. It requires restraint. It requires mental control. Every time you feel the urge to speak just to be heard, pause, take a breath, evaluate. Ask yourself, will this add value, or am I speaking because I fear the silence? Most people speak because they fear being quiet. That's a weakness. You're going to learn to turn that fear into strength. Here's a real-world example. Imagine a high-level executive in a meeting. Everyone is talking at once. Ideas fly, opinions clash, and then the executive remains silent. The room quiets naturally. Eyes turn. The executive chooses a single powerful sentence to deliver. The room reacts. Decisions shift. Influence is cemented, not because they shouted, not because they argued, but because they mastered silence first. That could be you. That should be you. Now, don't confuse silence with passivity. Silence is not absence. It's not a weakness. It's a strategy. It's a deliberate pause. It's a conscious choice. When you speak less, every word gains weight. Every phrase becomes a tool. Every comment becomes a signal. People notice. People remember. People follow. That's the key. That's why silence is your secret weapon. Here's what you must start doing today. 1. Pause before responding. Even in casual conversations, take a moment, think, evaluate, choose the words that carry authority. Stop reacting impulsively. Stop talking just to fill the air. Make every word count. 2. Resist the urge to over-explain. When people ask questions or challenge you, resist giving long, rambling answers. Keep it concise. Keep it deliberate. Keep it confident. Let your brevity signal mastery. Over-explaining dilutes respect. Under-explaining commands. 3. Practice controlled silence daily. Sit in silence for 10 minutes. Observe your thoughts. Observe the world. Notice the discomfort that arises from quiet. That discomfort is where growth begins. That discomfort is where power begins. Every time you endure it, you strengthen your presence. Stop filling space. Start commanding it. Silence is power. Let's be clear, this is not about being introverted. It's not about avoiding social interaction. It's about choosing the moments when your voice is heard. It's about saying less and achieving more. It's about turning restraint into influence. Every time you speak without purpose, you devalue your authority. Every time you pause, you elevate it. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their permission to hold your silence. You don't need approval to control your words. You don't need to justify every thought. The more you master silence, the more people will listen to what you actually say. Here's a daily exercise to start applying this chapter. Next time you're in a conversation, any conversation, commit to speaking only when your words add significant value. Count silently how many times you feel the urge to speak just to respond. Each pause you enforce builds power. Each word you carefully choose increases influence. Repeat this every day. It has become a habit. Habits shape your presence. Presence shapes your authority. Authority shapes your life. Remember this phrase: stop filling space, start commanding it. Silence is power. Repeat it in your mind. Let it guide your behavior. Let it define your interactions. Let it shape your day. The more consistently you practice, the stronger your influence becomes. People will notice. They will respect you. They will listen. You've seen it work. You've observed it in leaders, mentors, and icons. Now it's your turn. Master the silence. Command attention without speaking. Let your presence carry weight. And when you finally speak, make every word a weapon. Make every phrase a force of influence. This is your foundation. Master it, and everything else follows. You've learned the power of controlled silence. Now let's take it further. If you want influence, it's not just about staying quiet. It's about listening with precision. Observe first, understand fully, then respond. That's the bridge to true mastery. Chapter 2: The Art of Listening Before Speaking. Here's the truth. Most people hear, but they don't listen. They wait for their turn to speak. They think about what they're going to say next instead of focusing on what's being said. And that's why they lose influence. Influence isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. Influence is about understanding before responding. It's about listening first, speaking second, and striking with precision when the moment demands it. Listening is the invisible influence tool. The people who dominate negotiations, boardrooms, and conversations aren't always the ones talking the most. They're the ones listening. They absorb information. They read intentions. They detect motives. And then they respond in a way that gains respect, compliance, and trust, all without raising their voice or showing aggression. That's the power of strategic listening. That's the key to real influence. Think about expert negotiators. They don't bluster or interrupt. They ask questions. They pause. They reflect. And they let the other person reveal their position, vulnerabilities, and desires. Then, and only then, they respond. The result? Concessions given willingly. Decisions swayed subtly. Power exerted silently. That could be you. That should be you. Here's what you must start doing today. 1. Listen actively, not passively. Don't just nod and wait. Pay attention. Observe tone, body language, and emotion. Absorb meaning behind words. This is not about hearing sound. It's about understanding intent. You have a choice: hear like everyone else or listen to gain control. 2. Ask clarifying questions. Simple, strategic questions force the other person to reveal more. Questions like, "Can you elaborate?" or "What makes this important to you?" show that you're engaged, but more importantly, they provide critical information you can use to respond intelligently. Each question you ask is a moment to gather influence silently. 3. Pause before responding. Don't rush to answer. Don't fill the silence with words that dilute your authority. Take a breath. Let the weight of the conversation settle. Let your response carry the power of thoughtfulness. People notice the pause. People respect the pause. People respond to the pause. Hear more, respond smarter. Influence grows with every silent moment. Here's a real-world example. Imagine a manager in a tense meeting. A team member presents a problem with multiple layers. Instead of reacting immediately, the manager listens carefully. They observe the tone, the choice of words, and the underlying emotion. They ask one precise question. Then, after a brief pause, they respond, not with criticism, but with a solution that addresses the real issue. The team aligns. Respect is cemented. Conflict is avoided. Power exerted silently. That could be you. That should be you. Let's be honest. Most people fear silence. They think if they don't speak, they'll lose control. That's a misconception. Silence in the right moments enhances control. It signals confidence. It signals intelligence. It signals authority. But you must learn to wield it correctly. Listening strategically isn't passive. It's tactical. It's deliberate. It's powerful. Here's a practical exercise. Next conversation you have, commit to this rule. Don't speak until you have fully understood the other person's point. Count to 3 before replying. Summarize their position silently in your mind. Identify the core issue. Then respond concisely, deliberately, and strategically. Do this consistently and watch influence grow without anyone noticing the effort. Influence is silent, but its effect is undeniable. Another crucial point: resist the urge to interrupt. Interruptions signal insecurity and impatience. They break flow. They reduce credibility. People who dominate with interruptions are often not respected. They're feared or dismissed. Your goal isn't fear. Your goal is influence. Influence grows when you listen. Influence grows when you respond with insight. Influence grows when you act, not react. Remember this: hear more, respond smarter. Influence grows with every silent moment. Repeat it in your mind. Let it guide your actions. Let it shape your conversations. Let it define your relationships. Every time you listen strategically, you're building power that others can't see, but they feel it. Every question you ask, every pause you take, every response you craft is a step toward mastery of influence. You've seen it work. You've watched leaders, negotiators, and icons command respect without shouting. Now it's your turn. Transform your listening. Transform your responses. Transform your influence. This is the bridge between being heard and being respected. This is the path from talking to commanding. You've mastered listening strategically. Now it's time to take it further. Influence isn't just about listening, it's about speaking with precision, speaking only when necessary. Every word you choose must carry weight. That's where true authority begins. Chapter 3. Speak only when necessary. Words are powerful, but most people squander them. They fill silence with noise. They speak to be heard, not to matter, and that's why they are ignored, forgotten, or dismissed. Influence is not measured by how much you talk. It's measured by the impact of what you say. You have a choice: speak to add value or speak to fade into the background. The principle is simple. Value your words like currency. Every sentence must serve a purpose. Every statement must have intention. Every word must carry weight. Stop talking to prove intelligence. Stop talking to fill gaps. Stop talking because silence feels uncomfortable. Strategic speakers know this. They measure every word. They speak less, but when they do, they hit with precision. Consider CEOs in high-stakes meetings. They don't blurt opinions every time someone speaks. They listen first. They evaluate. They weigh risks and outcomes. Then, they speak only when necessary. When they do, every word is remembered, every point lands, every statement shifts the conversation. They are not louder, they are sharper. They are not frequent, they are decisive. You can do this too. You don't need their permission to control your speech. Here's what you must start practicing today. 1. Pause before speaking. Don't rush. Don't react. Take a breath. Consider whether your words are necessary. Ask yourself, will this statement move the conversation forward? Will it clarify, inspire, or influence? If not, stay silent. Silence is better than meaningless noise. Measure your words. Speak with intent. Less talk, more impact. 2. Eliminate filler phrases. Words like like, you know, and basically dilute authority. Remove them. They signal insecurity. They signal unpreparedness. Replace filler with deliberate silence or a concise phrase that reinforces your point. Speak with precision. Every word counts. 3. Deliver with clarity and brevity. Powerful speakers craft sentences that are simple, clear, and direct. Avoid rambling, avoid over-explaining, avoid repeating unnecessarily. Clarity commands attention. Brevity sustains it. Your impact grows exponentially when your audience doesn't have to decipher your message. Stop filling space. Start commanding it. Every word carries power. Every pause carries influence. Let's use a real-world example. A manager in a team meeting notices a heated debate. Instead of jumping in to assert dominance, the manager listens. They assess who is speaking, why, and to what effect. After a moment of reflection, they contribute one sentence, direct, insightful, and strategic. The discussion stops. Everyone pays attention. Authority is established. Influence is gained. The manager didn't dominate with volume. They dominated with value. That's speaking only when necessary. Another critical point. Speak to create movement, not reaction. People who talk constantly often get responses, but rarely results. The goal is influence, not chatter. The goal is a decision, not debate. When you speak with intention, you shape outcomes. When you speak with precision, you gain respect. When you speak only when necessary, you control the room. That's the difference between being heard and being remembered. Practice this exercise. In your next conversation, commit to this rule. For every 3 statements you want to make, speak only 1. Make it count. Let your silence create anticipation. Let your words carry authority. Let every sentence have purpose. Repeat this consistently. The more you enforce it, the more natural it becomes. Your speech becomes a tool of influence rather than a reflex. Influence grows in silence and intent, not noise and volume. Remember, measure your words. Speak with intent. Less talk, more impact. Repeat it, internalize it, apply it in every interaction. Every meeting is an opportunity to practice. Every meeting is a test of your mastery. Stop wasting power. Stop broadcasting noise. Start commanding respect. Start influencing strategically. That's the path to authority. That's the path to influence. That's the path to dominance without shouting. Here's the hard truth. If you speak unnecessarily, people tune out. If you speak without precision, people forget. If you speak without intent, you lose credibility. Your words are your currency. Spend them wisely. Invest them in moments that matter. Reserve them for influence, insight, and impact. Every unnecessary word you utter diminishes your power. Every strategic word you deliver enhances it. You have a choice. Choose wisely. That's the key. You've mastered speaking only when necessary. But influence is not just external, it starts internally. What you say to yourself shapes your words, decisions, and actions. The next chapter dives into mastering your internal dialogue. Control it, and you control your life. Chapter 4. Master your internal dialogue. Your mind talks constantly. Most of the time, it's unnecessary noise. It criticizes. I doubt it. It overanalyzes. It debates endlessly with itself. And that's why so many people fail before they even act. Influence and discipline start in the mind. You have a choice. Master your internal dialogue or be controlled by it. Self-control begins silently. If you are chaotic inside, your words and actions will follow. If you over-explain to yourself, you will over-explain to others. If you doubt internally, you will hesitate externally. The first step to real influence is silence within. Stop the endless chatter. Stop the self-sabotaging explanations. Start listening to your own thoughts carefully. Control what you allow in your mind, and your actions will follow. Consider athletes preparing for the biggest competition of their life. The most successful ones don't think aloud constantly. They visualize their success internally. They rehearse victories in silence. They focus. Every movement is pre-decided in their mind. The result? When the moment arrives, they execute flawlessly. Compare this to athletes who overanalyze and talk through every step. They hesitate, they falter, they lose. Internal mastery precedes external victory. You don't need their permission to control your inner voice. Here's what you must start practicing today. 1. Pause intentionally. Stop letting every thought control you. When you catch yourself spiraling, pause, take a breath, refocus. Ask yourself, is this thought serving my purpose or weakening me? Thoughts are powerful, but they are not reality unless you let them dominate you. Think clearly. Pause intentionally. Internal mastery precedes external influence. 2. Stop over-explaining yourself. Many people replay scenarios in their head trying to justify their choices or predict outcomes. This is mental clutter. It weakens decisiveness. It erodes confidence. Instead, internalize principles and strategies silently. Trust your preparation. Trust your discipline. Avoid mental over-talk. That's the key. 3. Control the narrative you tell yourself. The stories you believe in your head shape your confidence, courage, and authority. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't, I'm not ready, or they won't respect me, your behavior will mirror that story. Replace these thoughts with deliberate affirmations. I am capable. I act with precision. I control the room. Strengthen your mental dialogue and your external influence grows naturally. You have a choice. Choose strength. Real-world example. Negotiators who stay silent internally while listening to the other party outperform those who react impulsively. They don't overthink aloud. They don't over-explain their position. They pause, assess, and respond strategically. Every word is deliberate. Every decision is calculated. Their inner discipline creates outer dominance. That's the silent power of internal mastery. Another critical point. Your internal dialogue sets your emotional state. If your thoughts are chaotic, your emotions will be erratic. If your thoughts are disciplined, your emotions are controlled. Athletes, leaders, and influencers don't just control their words, they control their inner monologue. They know that a calm mind creates calm actions. A focused mind creates focused results. Stop letting random thoughts dictate your life. Start guiding them with intention. Practice this exercise daily. For 5 minutes, sit silently and observe your thoughts. Do not react. Do not judge. Identify the negative or unnecessary chatter. Replace it with purposeful thoughts aligned with your goals. Visualize success quietly. Rehearse victories silently. Strengthen internal discipline consistently. Over time, your mind becomes your ally, not your saboteur. Internal clarity breeds external authority. Remember, think clearly. Pause intentionally. Internal mastery precedes external influence. Repeat this phrase, internalize it, apply it relentlessly. Every interaction is a test of your internal control. Every decision is shaped by the strength of your mind. Stop explaining too much. Stop reacting to every thought. Start observing. Start directing. Start mastering. Your silence within is your loudest weapon externally. That's the difference between those who lead and those who follow. That's the difference between influence and noise. Here's the hard truth. If you let your mind chatter endlessly, you will falter in moments that matter. If you internalize control, you will act decisively. If you dominate your internal dialogue, you dominate your life. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Control your thoughts, control your actions, control your results. That's discipline. That's power. That's the influence. That's silence mastered internally. You've learned to master your internal dialogue. Now we take the next step, leveraging silence externally to create tension and impact. When you speak strategically, the room listens. Influence grows not just from thought, but from controlled action. Chapter 5. Use silence to create tension. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is power. Silence is strategy. Too many people rush to fill every gap with words. They fear pauses. They fear discomfort. They fear the impression of emptiness. That's a weakness. Influence doesn't come from constant talking. Influence comes from control over attention. You have a choice. Fill the space with noise or command it with silence. Pauses are your weapon. Every pause is a signal. Every silence is a test. When you stop talking at the right moment, people lean in. They pay attention. They process. They anticipate. Silence forces them to reflect. It forces them to value your words. It forces them to follow your lead. This is not theory. It is strategy. Think about the greatest speakers in history. Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King Jr. Every master of influence knew the power of the pause. They didn't rush. They didn't over-explain. They let silence land like a hammer. The room held its breath. Every word after a pause carried weight. You have a choice. You can speak constantly and be ignored, or you can pause with purpose and be unforgettable. Here's what you need to practice. 1. Pause before you respond. Stop answering immediately. Listen fully. Consider your words. Pause intentionally. This is not hesitation. This is authority. Pause creates gravity. Pause commands attention. Pause builds dominance. Every time you let silence do the work, your words hit harder. Influence grows. You don't need their permission to create power in stillness. 2. Use silence after making a point. Deliver your statement. Stop. Look around. Let it sink in. Resist the urge to fill the gap. Resist the urge to explain further. Let your audience sit in the impact. Politicians, leaders, and negotiators understand this instinctively. They use silence to make their words feel larger than life. Every pause magnifies your presence. Every pause makes your message memorable. Pause with purpose. Wait for impact. Silence builds dominance. 3. Make silence deliberate in high-stakes moments. During negotiations, debates, or presentations, silence becomes your leverage. When the room expects more, when the tension rises, when people anticipate your next move, hold the silence. Your calm creates unease for others. Their insecurity elevates your authority. Their uncertainty makes them listen. Your influence grows in the gaps you control. You have a choice. You can rush and blend in, or pause and dominate. Consider a real-world example. A skilled negotiator presents an offer. Instead of talking, explaining, or justifying, they stop. They sit in silence. The other party squirms. The pressure mounts. They fill in the gap with concessions. They react, not the negotiator. The deal favors the one who controlled the silence. Every pause is strategic. Every pause is dominance. Every pause is influence in motion. Another example, public speakers, stand-up comedians, motivational speakers, TED Talk presenters. Every pause before the punchline, every silence after a bold statement holds the room captive. The audience leans forward unconsciously. They anticipate, they process, they are hooked. This is not luck. This is deliberate. This is discipline. Silence creates tension. Tension creates authority. Authority creates influence. You have a choice. You can be loud and ignored, or silent and commanding. Here's a practical exercise. During your conversations today, consciously pause at least once after you make a key point. Resist the urge to repeat yourself. Notice the reactions. Observe the attention shift. Feel the control. Do this consistently. Make every pause purposeful. Make every silence strategic. Let it reinforce that you are in charge of the room. Let it remind you that influence is deliberate. Silence is your ally. Use it wisely. Key warning: do not confuse awkwardness with strategic silence. Practice, rehearse, internalize the power of a pause. Every moment of silence should be deliberate, not accidental. Influence is planned, not spontaneous. Weak minds panic in gaps. Strong minds capitalize on them. You have a choice. Every silence can weaken you, or every silence can elevate you. Repeat this mantra internally. Pause with purpose. Wait for impact. Silence builds dominance. Say it. Internalize it. Apply it relentlessly. In every interaction, in every conversation, in every presentation, pause with strategy. Let silence amplify your authority. Let silence highlight your words. Let silence make your presence unforgettable. You don't need their permission to command attention. You don't need their permission to create tension. You don't need their permission to influence. You have a choice. You've learned to use silence to create tension. Now the next test, rejecting the need for validation. Influence grows when you stop seeking approval and start trusting your own judgment. Your authority cannot exist if it relies on others. Chapter 6. Avoid the need for validation. Approval is a trap. Seeking it weakens your presence. It dilutes your authority. Every time you explain yourself unnecessarily, every time you over-justify, you give away power. You have a choice: chase applause or command attention. That's the key. Silence signals self-assurance. Silence communicates confidence. Approval is optional. Confidence is silent. Speak only when necessary. Let's get this straight. People who constantly seek validation are like leaves in the wind. They react to every comment, every glance, every whisper. Their actions are dictated by others' expectations. Their influence is shallow. They never lead, they follow. They never command, they appease. That's a weakness. Influence is self-possessed. Influence is deliberate. Influence does not beg for approval. Consider managers in business. The insecure manager explains every choice. They justify every decision. They apologize unnecessarily. Employees pick up on the hesitation. They question authority. They challenge leadership. Now contrast this with the confident manager. They make decisions, announce them, and move on. No over-explaining, no desperate attempts to be liked. Their silence conveys certainty. Their authority is unquestioned. Approval is optional. Confidence is silent. Speak only when necessary. This principle applies everywhere, at work, in relationships, in social situations. People who do not need validation are respected. They are listened to. They are followed. They are noticed not for seeking attention, but because they own their presence. You have a choice. Surrender your authority to others' opinions or claim it for yourself. That's the key. Here's a simple rule. Stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. If your action is correct, it needs no justification. If your choice is strategic, it stands on its own. Words do not create authority. Decisive action does. Stop over-talking. Stop over-justifying. Every time you pause, every time you resist the urge to explain, you reinforce control. Influence grows. Confidence solidifies. Approval becomes irrelevant. Example: imagine a team meeting. A junior employee questions your strategy. You pause. You think. You answer concisely, only what is necessary. You do not over-explain. You do not justify your competence. You do not seek their nod of approval. You assert your authority with clarity. That pause, that careful response sends a message. I am in control. Your approval is optional. Every word carries weight because it is measured. Confidence is silent. Approval is optional. Speak only when necessary. This extends to personal life too. Friends, family, even strangers, stop bending to earn their approval. Stop altering your choices to fit someone else's comfort. Stop asking for permission to exist fully. When you cease validation seeking, your presence commands respect. You become untouchable because your authority does not rely on their affirmation. Every silent moment is a statement. Every confident pause is a declaration. You have a choice. That's the key. Another practical method: internalize your approval. Stop looking outward. Start looking inward. Ask yourself, do I believe in my decision? Am I aligned with my principles? If the answer is yes, the external nod is irrelevant. If the answer is no, pause, reflect, and act accordingly. Your internal judgment must outweigh external judgment. Approval is optional. Confidence is silent. Speak only when necessary. Repetition is critical here. Reinforce it mentally, daily. Every time you feel the urge to justify, pause. Every time you feel the need to explain, resist. Every time someone challenges you, respond with intention, not reaction. You don't need to earn approval for every choice. You don't need permission to assert authority. You have a choice. That's the key. Practical exercise. Next time someone questions your decision, pause. Do not explain unnecessarily. Observe the reaction. Notice the shift in dynamics. People respond differently when you stop seeking validation. Your authority grows. Your influence expands. Silence becomes your ally. Every day, practice this. Make it a habit. Internal confidence will eventually replace the need for external affirmation. Confidence is silent. Approval is optional. Speak only when necessary. Avoid common pitfalls.
insecurity masquerading as humility. Humility is not weakness, it is self-aware confidence. Weakness is bending to please. Weakness is over-justifying. Weakness is seeking affirmation. Discipline yourself. Master your self-worth. Every word you speak should serve strategy, not appeasement. Every pause should reinforce authority. Influence thrives in the absence of desperation. You have a choice. By mastering the refusal to seek validation, you amplify everything you've learned about silence. Your words carry weight. Your presence is undeniable. Your authority becomes automatic. People follow not because you ask, but because you project confidence that cannot be ignored. Approval is optional. Confidence is silent. Speak only when necessary. Transition to Chapter 7. You've learned to stop seeking validation. Now your next challenge: observing first, then responding. Influence is not reactionary, it is strategic. Timing is everything.
Chapter 7. Observe, then respond. Observation is the hidden weapon of influence. Talking first, reacting impulsively, chasing attention, that's what weak people do. You have a choice: react immediately or watch first and respond strategically. That's the key. Silence is not hesitation. Silence is preparation. Every pause is a tactical decision. Influence comes from timing, not volume. Watch first, act second. Timing is power. Think about the leaders you respect. They rarely speak without assessing the room. They observe body language, tone, and subtle cues. They listen carefully to what is said and, more importantly, to what is not said. They calculate the perfect moment to contribute. Their words carry weight because they are deliberate. Their influence grows silently while others rush to fill the noise. Watch first, act second. Influence comes from timing, not volume. Here's the reality. People who respond immediately are predictable. They are easy to manipulate. They reveal their intentions before they understand the situation. They speak to be heard, not to be impactful. That's a weakness. Observers, however, gain the upper hand. Observation is power. Observation builds clarity. Observation allows you to strike with precision. You have a choice. That's the key. Consider board meetings. A junior executive interrupts with a suggestion. Some respond immediately, defending their ideas or arguing pointlessly. Their influence fades. Observant leaders remain silent for a moment. They watch, they analyze, they understand the hidden dynamics, and then they respond. Their contributions resonate. Their words are remembered. Timing amplifies influence. Watch first, act second. Influence comes from timing, not volume. Observation also applies to relationships. Friends, colleagues, even strangers. Watch their behavior before reacting. Listen to their words, notice their emotions, and identify their motivations. Reacting too quickly can escalate conflict or undermine your authority. Observing first allows you to respond thoughtfully, strategically, and decisively. You control the narrative. You dictate the pace. Influence emerges from the silence before action. You have a choice. That's the key. Here's a practical method. The next time someone challenges you, pause, observe their body language, listen to their tone, and identify the unspoken motives behind their words. Resist the urge to answer immediately. Reflect internally, then respond deliberately. Your words will carry authority because they were measured. Your response will command attention because it was calculated. Watch first, act second. Influence comes from timing, not volume. Leaders and negotiators know this instinctively. They understand that action without observation is wasted energy. A strategic response can shift outcomes, change perceptions, and consolidate authority.
Observing first reduces risk. It amplifies effectiveness. It creates opportunities that impulsive reactions destroy. Influence is a quiet, deliberate force. You have a choice. That's the key. Repetition solidifies this principle. Daily, practice observing before acting. In conversations, in meetings, in text messages, in social media interactions. Pause, observe, understand, respond. Make it a habit. Every time you resist the urge to react immediately, your influence grows. Every measured response increases your authority. Every silent moment sharpens your strategic mind. Watch first, act second. Influence comes from timing, not volume. Let's examine another real-world example. Negotiators. A skilled negotiator listens to every offer, every tone, every hesitation. They remain silent while the other party talks. They gather information. They calculate leverage. Then, at the precise moment, they respond. Their words carry power. Their influence dominates. Silence was their ally. Observation was their strategy. Timing was their weapon. You have a choice. That's the key. Observation is also about internal assessment. Watch your own impulses. Identify your triggers. Recognize when you are reacting emotionally rather than strategically. Discipline your mind to pause. Self-awareness is part of observing first. Master it. Influence grows from clarity. Confidence solidifies when your actions are deliberate, not impulsive. Watch first, act second. Influence comes from timing. Avoid common mistakes. Some confuse observation with passivity. Silence is not weakness. Pausing is not procrastination. Observation is active. Observation is conscious. Observation allows you to read situations that others miss. You do not react to noise. You respond to opportunity. You have a choice. That's the key. Practical exercise. In your next conversation, count to 5 before responding to a challenging statement. Observe how this pause shifts the dynamics. Notice how your words now carry weight. Reflect on how influence grows without raising your voice. Practice consistently. Make observation a habit, not an option. Watch first, act second. Influence comes from timing. By mastering the art of observation, you combine silence with strategy. You strengthen your presence. You amplify your words. You command attention effortlessly. The world reacts to you not because you speak loudly, but because you speak wisely. Timing is everything. Influence is deliberate. You have learned to watch first and respond strategically. Now, silence becomes your negotiation weapon. Every carefully timed word creates leverage.
Chapter 8. Silence as a negotiation tool. Silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. You have a choice. Fill the space with noise, or let silence create power. That's the key. Weak people rush to speak, to justify, to explain. Strong people pause. They allow the silence to work. Let silence speak, gain leverage, win without aggression. Think about negotiation. Every conversation is a battlefield. Words are weapons. Timing is ammunition. Speaking too much weakens your position. Talking to fill the air signals insecurity. Observing and remaining silent signals authority. Silence forces others to respond. Silence exposes weakness. Silence reveals truth. Let silence speak, gain leverage, win without aggression. Here's a real-world example. A negotiator asks for a raise. They present their case confidently. Then they stop. They say nothing more. The employer shifts uncomfortably. They start justifying themselves. They reveal concessions without being asked. The pause created leverage.
The silence created pressure. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence also works in business deals. A client hesitates after you present your proposal. Resist the urge to speak. Resist the urge to explain. Resist the urge to soften your terms. Let the silence linger. Notice how they begin to talk. Notice how they start compromising. You are not aggressive. You are strategic. Let silence speak. Gain leverage. Win without aggression. Every pause has a purpose. Every unspoken moment is a tool. Silence amplifies your presence. Silence communicates confidence. Silence forces others to react, often in ways that favor you. Weakness rushes to fill gaps. Discipline uses those gaps. You have a choice. That's the key. This principle applies beyond boardrooms. In personal relationships, silence is equally powerful. Arguments, debates, or emotional confrontations resist the impulse to speak immediately. Observe, pause, let the other person reveal their intentions. Let them fill the void. Your calm silence signals control. Your measured response carries weight. Let silence speak, gain leverage, win without aggression. Here's a practical method. In your next negotiation or discussion, deliver your key point clearly and stop. Do not explain further. Do not justify. Wait. Watch. The other party will react. They will speak more than necessary. They will reveal information. They will make concessions. Strategic silence is active. It is deliberate. It is powerful. You have a choice. That's the key. Negotiators, lawyers, and salespeople know this instinctively. They understand that people hate uncomfortable silence. Most will talk to escape it. Most will overcommit or reveal their hidden positions. Silence is a pressure tool, not a weakness. Silence forces clarity. Silence enforces discipline. Let silence speak, gain leverage, win without aggression. Remember, silence is a reflection of self-control. It is not fear. It is not hesitation. It is preparation. Every moment you resist the urge to fill the gap, your influence grows. Every pause you take strengthens your authority. Every silent second gives you insight into the other person's intentions. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's break down the method further. 1. State your position clearly. No filler, no unnecessary details. Be concise. 2. Pause intentionally. Let your silence linger. Resist the urge to justify. Observe. 3. Read reactions. Notice body language, tone, and verbal cues. Gather information silently. 4. Respond with precision. Only speak when necessary. Make your words impactful. Let silence carry the weight. Consistency is key. Practice this daily. In meetings, in emails, in phone calls, in texts, let silence become your ally. Every time you resist speaking unnecessarily, your authority increases. Every moment you pause strategically, you gain insight. Every measured response strengthens your influence. Let silence speak, gain leverage, win without aggression. Even in social dynamics, silence signals respect and power simultaneously. People are drawn to those who speak sparingly but decisively. They trust less those who over-explain or rush to justify themselves. Observe, pause, respond. Silence builds tension, attention, and respect. You have a choice. That's the key. A practical exercise. Next time you encounter a disagreement, make your point clearly, then remain silent for at least 10 seconds. Watch how the other person reacts. Notice how they begin to fill the silence. Notice how your authority grows without raising your voice. Practice consistently. Turn strategic silence into a habit. Let silence speak. gain leverage, win without aggression. Silence is more than a tactic. It is a mindset. It is a discipline made visible. It signals confidence, patience, and strategic mastery. It forces others to reveal themselves. It shapes outcomes without aggression. It strengthens influence and authority. Let silence speak, gain leverage, win without aggression. You have learned to leverage silence to gain advantage. Now it's time to remove fear. Fear of judgment, fear of misunderstanding, fear of missteps. When you speak with clarity and act with discipline, nothing can shake you.
Chapter 9. Remove the fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being misunderstood is the silent killer of influence. Many people speak quickly to prevent misinterpretation. They over-explain, they justify, they apologize. That's weakness, not strength. You have a choice. That's the key. Speaking less is not hiding, it is thinking before expressing. Pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Understand this: the louder someone speaks, the more they fear being misunderstood. Ironically, constant talking creates confusion. It dilutes authority. It signals insecurity. Leaders, influencers, and high performers do the opposite. They craft their words carefully. They pause intentionally. They accept that some people may misunderstand, and they do not panic. You have a choice. That's the key. Here's a real-world example. An influencer posts a statement online. Instead of rushing to clarify every comment or question, they pause. They let their words stand. Some misinterpret, some disagree, yet the core message resonates with those who matter. They do not chase validation. They do not fear judgment. Pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Fear of misunderstanding is rooted in the need for approval. You think everyone must understand or agree with you. That's false. That's not power. Power lies in being deliberate with your speech, not in pleasing others. Your voice is a tool, not a toy. Speak with intent. Speak with purpose. Accept that some will misinterpret. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 1. Cultivate mental clarity. Before speaking, ask yourself, does this add value? Does it advance my goal? Does it reflect my authority? If the answer is no, remain silent. Pause. Watch. Let the moment breathe. Pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Step 2. Embrace selective disclosure. Not everything needs explanation. Not every thought needs sharing. Leaders who overshare weaken influence. Those who choose what to reveal strengthen it. Less talk, more impact. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 3. Detach from judgment. Misunderstanding is inevitable. People have biases. People interpret through their own lenses. Accept it. Don't react defensively. Don't overcorrect. Your calm silence communicates confidence. Pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Example in action. During a high-stakes meeting, a manager presents a bold idea. Some colleagues misunderstand the point. Instead of over-explaining or justifying, the manager remains calm. They answer questions strategically. They reinforce key points selectively. Influence grows because authority is demonstrated, not argued. You have a choice. That's the key. Another example. A content creator posts a controversial yet meaningful idea. Misunderstandings appear in the comments. Instead of rushing to clarify or argue, the creator lets the statement stand. Their followers respect the consistency, the discipline, the control. They see mastery, not panic. Pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Your internal dialogue matters too.
When fear of misinterpretation strikes, remind yourself, I am in control of my message. I am not responsible for everyone's perception. My influence is measured by clarity, intention, and discipline. Internal mastery precedes external authority. You have a choice. That's the key. Practical exercise. Before responding to any question or comment today, pause for 5 full seconds. Let your mind process the intention behind your words. Ask, is this necessary? Is this impactful? Is this deliberate? Speak only when the answer is yes. Train yourself to pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Remember, influence is not measured by volume. Influence is measured by precision. Influence is measured by timing. Influence is measured by thoughtfulness. Fear of misunderstanding erodes authority. Silence and deliberate speech build it. You have a choice. That's the key. Even in personal relationships, this principle applies. When confronted with conflict, pause. Do not speak immediately. Observe. Consider the impact of your words. Respond strategically. Do not seek universal approval. Do not fear misunderstanding. Speak with intent. Pause before speaking. Clarity comes from thought, not volume. Summary of tools to remove the fear of being misunderstood. 1. Pause before speaking. Give your thoughts time to organize. Let the weight of your words land deliberately. 2. Speak selectively. Only share what advances your influence. Only clarify when necessary. 3. Detach from approval. Accept misinterpretation as natural. Focus on deliberate impact, not everyone's perception. Fear of misunderstanding is optional. Discipline in thought and speech is not. Master this, and your words become weapons. Your influence grows. Your presence commands attention. Your silence speaks volumes. You have a choice. That's the key. You have removed fear, harnessed silence, and learned to speak with clarity. Now it's time to apply all of this in action. Influence is maximized when less is said, yet more is achieved.
Chapter 10. Influence more by saying less. This is the final stage, the pinnacle. You've learned silence. You've mastered thought before speech. You've removed the fear of being misunderstood. Now it's time to wield influence with precision. Influence is not about volume. Influence is not about filling space. Influence is about impact. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. You have a choice. That's the key. The truth is simple. People remember the person who speaks less, not the one who speaks most. Loud voices fade. Thoughtful words endure. Executives who interject sparingly in meetings leave an impression long after others have stopped talking. Public speakers who pause before a critical point captivate audiences. Leaders who act decisively with minimal explanation command respect. Less is more. You have a choice. That's the key. Consider this. A CEO walks into a room. She listens, observes, and waits. Others talk. Opinions clash. Chaos swirls. Then she speaks. One sentence. Clear, concise, strategic. The room shifts. Attention pivots. Decisions align. Her influence is undeniable. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. Why does this work? Because attention is finite. People can only absorb so much noise. When you speak only when necessary, each word gains weight. Each statement carries authority. Each pause becomes a tool. You don't need permission to command the room. You don't need approval to make an impact. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's break down the mechanics. Step 1. Selective speech. Only speak to add value. Only speak to guide outcomes.
Only speak when it advances your goal. Remove filler words, off-topic commentary, and reactive responses. Every sentence must serve a purpose. Every word should earn its place. Influence grows exponentially when speech is minimal and precise. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. Step 2. Observe before acting. Influence is amplified when combined with observation. Watch reactions, gauge moods, understand perspectives. Timing is everything. The right word at the wrong time is wasted effort. Pause, assess, deliver. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 3. Use silence strategically. Silence is not absence, it is leverage. Stop filling space. Let your presence speak. When others are unsure, your calm silence dominates. Negotiators know this. Leaders know this. Influencers know this. Silence is the ultimate amplifier. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. Example in real life. During a negotiation, one party keeps talking, offering concessions to avoid tension. The other party stops. They let the silence stretch. Uncomfortable? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. Concessions are made. Agreements are reached. Influence is achieved without aggression. Less talk, more power. You have a choice. That's the key. Another example. A team meeting. Multiple opinions clash. The manager does not rush to respond. She waits. She lets others speak. Then she delivers a concise solution. Clarity arrives. Decisions follow. Her authority solidifies. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. Internal dialogue is crucial. Every time you feel the urge to over-explain or justify, remind yourself, my influence is measured by precision, not volume. My words are weapons, not filler. My silence speaks as loudly as my speech. This mindset transforms communication from reactionary to strategic. You have a choice. That's the key. Practical exercise for mastery. Over the next week, practice speaking in 3 deliberate ways. 1. Pause before responding. Count to 5 silently before replying to questions or comments. Observe the effect. Notice the weight your words gain. 2. Edit internally. Formulate what you intend to say mentally before speaking. Remove unnecessary words. Keep only what adds value. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. 3. Monitor reaction. Watch how others respond. Notice who is paying attention, who defers, who engages. Adjust your speech strategically, not reflexively. You have a choice. Remember, influence is a force multiplier. Noise is a diluter. Clarity and restraint breed respect. Consistency in this principle ensures that people listen when you speak, anticipate your words, and follow your lead. Less is more. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. Even in personal life, this principle works. Family, friends, colleagues, social media, stop filling the void with noise. Post or speak only when you intend to move the outcome, teach or guide. Observe first, respond strategically. Let your presence dominate. You don't need everyone to understand or approve. You only need them to recognize your authority. You have a choice. That's the key. Summary. Speak less to be remembered more. Speak with purpose to guide outcomes effectively. Use silence as leverage to amplify authority. Observe and time your words for maximum impact. Internal mastery ensures external influence. You have completed the journey. From silence as a weapon, to listening, to selective speech, to mastering fear of misinterpretation, now you are equipped. Influence is no longer about words alone. It is about presence, discipline, and strategy. Speak with purpose. Influence effortlessly. Silence multiplies impact. This is your final challenge. Begin today. Apply everything you've learned. Reduce noise. Increase impact. Master your silence. Influence more by saying less. You've reached the end of this audiobook, but your real work starts now. Everything you just learned means nothing without action. Silence is only powerful when you apply it. Influence only grows when you practice it. You can go back to talking too much, explaining too much, proving too much, or you can step into a new level of discipline, a new level of presence, a new level of influence. Remember this: you don't need their permission, you don't need their validation, you don't need their approval. You only need control. Control of your mind, control of your reactions, control of your words. Speak with purpose, move with intent. Let your silence work for you, not against you. Influence more by saying less. Now, if this audiobook opened your eyes, if it shifted something in you, if it taught you how to move differently in this loud world, then do one simple thing that helps this message reach more people. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs it, and turn on post notifications so you never miss the next powerful audiobook we release. Your transformation doesn't end here, it begins here. Stay disciplined, stay intentional, and remember, your silence is your power.